Hello and welcome to PFF Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Hartitz. Happy Wednesday night, Thursday morning, whatever it is. We are recording this on 4/20. Happy holidays, everyone. Best ball season. Joining me today is none other than PFF legend ambassador, connoisseur, Dwain "The Rock" McFarland. Dwain, how do you? How are you?
Dude. we haven't even really broken into the beer yet, Ian. So no, man, I'm doing good. Like we're about to do a draft, and we have a top 4 pick. So the last time, what did we have? Pick 10? We had pick 10, I think.
We were around the turn, I think.
2 weeks ago, yeah. So we should get a different vibe, today. And if folks had a chance to check out the article, we discussed it a week or so ago, but really like that reverse engineering, the perfect draft. Round 7 through 10 and 11, we know just provide us with so much flexibility. So it'll be interesting to see, do we get, a Jonathan Taylor or a Christian McCaffrey? And no, on both.
We are pick 4. Draft is going. Dwain, is Taylor the only running back you're taking ahead of some of these dope wide receivers right now?
Yeah, so far. But I would do McCaffrey. And I know you're in. Oh, look at that. Jefferson. These people know, Ian. Thanks.
Ooh.
So Cooper Kupp, dude. We get Cooper Kupp at pick 4.
Wow.
Yes.
They actually went JJ over Kupp. I respect it.
I respect it too. We've been talking about if you're sitting at 10, 9, 8, Jefferson is just a slam dunk pick.
There hasn't been a running back repeat as the overall fantasy RB1 since I believe Priest Holmes in the early 2000s. Quarterback Josh Allen just did it. Before him, it was Dante Culpepper way back when. Obviously, Tony Gonzalez had the really long run at tight end. Wide receiver, we've seen the sustained dominance a little bit longer. Antonio Brown was doing some wild things in the middle of the 2010s decade. With Kupp, I get a little annoyed when I'm seeing is Justin Jefferson going to be this year's Cooper Kupp, because we're saying, is he going to have the single most prolific season that the wide receiver position has ever freaking seen? So, it's one of those things where if you can just get either of them, I think it's fine. But, expecting Jefferson to do that, I was joking around on Twitter saying all this hype going to Jefferson, deservedly so. He's going to have a great season, only for week 1. Adam Thielen's going for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns.
For sure. Yeah. After week 1, we'll all have Adam Thielen as a high-end wide receiver too.
After Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase went, then Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, and Javonte Williams. Still no Melvin Gordon signing. At this point, Dwain, wouldn't we have to assume at least a 60-40 Javonte split over Melvin? Even if it comes back to Denver.
I think we already do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see any reason not to. My biggest issue with Javonte right now is just he's probably priced as high as he's going to be, in the offseason. I don't see him getting much higher than the price he has today. But I see several scenarios where we could see him go down in price, if that makes sense.
A.J. Brown still going at the end of the first round, despite some of those concerns. Deebo Samuel still very much on the board. Dwain, our PFF Fantasy Twitter account was asking everyone, where's the best possible landing spot for Deebo Samuel? And I won, because the best possible landing spot is for him not to go anywhere and to stay in San Francisco. I don't think everyone realizes how fantasy-friendly of a role that was for him last year in the second half, getting those rush attempts on top of the targets. I mean, we can talk about, he's amazing. I get it. If you put him in Kansas City or Green Bay, he's going to be great. But with all this player movement stuff, Dwain, the best answers usually stay where the hell you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, I'm not against him moving, just because the best version of Deebo was really the first half of the season version, right? Not the one that was getting all the rushing attempts. So I still think, if he left, he could potentially land in an offense where we really get to see, from a PPR or half PPR perspective, we could see a player that could just really provide us more value. I would be fine with Deebo losing his rushing attempts, if it meant that he was going to get more, receiving opportunities. So, I think looking at the way that the league is set up now and how many different offenses are basically running an offshoot of Kyle Shanahan's offense, I think there's plenty of landing spots that he could hit, right? Any of those McVay or Shanahan tree style offenses, I think we could see Deebo, in a situation where he could probably still perform well.
Do you want him?
I agree.
Do you want him?
Where he's Oh yeah, if he makes it here, we're smashing him. Is he? Is he
We
here?
have him. Yes. Deebo Samuel right now, best wide receiver available. We got Metcalf. T. Higgins is close, but I still do
Oh,
lean
this is an
Deebo.
absolute smash. We
Hopkins,
never.
Keenan.
Yeah.
The running
Yeah.
backs available are Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, Antonio Gibson, Cam Akers. This is great, Dwayne, because like this happens every offseason where we can actually take advantage of some of this news cycle stuff going
Yes,
along.
and that's what you're supposed to do. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, hell, dude, like, was it
Well, and both of us are pretty much reluctant. We're a little scared of Debo in the late first or
But
early
this is
second.
fine.
So now we get exposure to him at the end of the second, mid second. I really love it.
And
So Mark
Rap Sheet
Andrews
said,
goes right after us.
Rap
Go
Sheet
ahead.
said that these talks have been going on for weeks, or that Debo told the 49ers like 2 or 3 weeks ago that he wanted a trade. They don't have to trade him. Like, there's just because we all heard about it today doesn't mean it's more imminent than it was when he asked for it in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be coming back around the turn. Mark Andrews went after us. Nick Chubb went after us. So our start so far is Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel. I love it. Travis Etienne just went in the third round.
Wow.
Normally a fifth round pick is Etienne, and maybe he's moving up. He's not on the recent ADP I've looked at, but whoever that was is probably the same person that took Justin Jefferson. Like they're definitely, they're walking to the beat of their own drum. Both players that we have high in our ranks, though. So I like it. I like the style. I like the swing. So, man, if T. Higgins comes back, what do we got? We had 3 picks before us.
Bro, we can still get Fournette if they don't notice.
Yeah, I'm thinking Fournette, I'm thinking Connor may slip back to us.
Oh, Fournette went.
Okay, so
Dude, risk it with Connor. This is going to take a while. We could get Higgins. I'll leave it up to you. I'm cool with Higgins or Connor. I agree there's a chance Connor wraps around.
So Fournette went. James Conner is available. Yeah,
Saquon.
I want to go ahead and go with T. Higgins. I just love the upside of T. Higgins. We'll have 3 receivers. It gives us a chance to, look at a 0 RB build, which we haven't done yet. So I like it.
Exciting times, embracing the 0 RB waters. I had this tweet up about 0 RB. It was from an old episode of Malcolm in the Middle where I don't even know what the hell Malcolm was asking his dad, but all of a sudden the entire screen goes dark and Hal's like, listen, son, once you start it, you can't go back ever. Like, this is now, like, they're just like, if you want out now, like, okay, but you cannot, if you want to do this, you need to put your whole focus towards it. Malcolm was like, okay.
I can't remember who did it, but somebody put up a thing like saying, hey, give a sexy quote that would work for 0 RB or in bed. And I just put, don't stop. Like, once you put your foot pedal to the metal, you just got to keep going.
For that same tweet, I said Tony Pollard.
No, yeah, yours was
back
better. Yours, yeah, that would totally get a girl going way.
Man. Unfortunately, God, man, my fiance just has no idea about football still. We watched some games together, but
look at you. So are you officially announcing this? Have you announced this to anyone else yet?
I mentioned it casually, I thought, but yes, okay. I am
an
engaged,
you told me.
Man.
I feel like I'm in the inside circle with Ian, but
maybe not on this podcast. I share the.
I don't think you have on this pod.
Well, there we go. Ian Hartitz now engaged. Some woman is apparently going to have Hartitz in her last name soon. Against all odds, we have crossed that barrier. I even bought the ring insurance today. So great day to be great. But Dwayne, let's focus on this lovely 0 RB start here. Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, and T. Higgins. True top 12 wide receivers in my humble opinion. We did have our first quarterback go, Josh Allen, at the end of round 3. I mean, we still have James Conner available. That would be our ultimate.
I would put Conner at the top of the queue along with Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones in a half PPR. I would be willing to look at Breece Hall as well.
What about David Montgomery?
I would be willing to look at Montgomery too.
I mean, at this point, we already got Higgins, and what wide receivers do we have?
Yeah. And remember, like, we're going to have a lot of flexibility. Where we're going to have to be disciplined is once we get to round 7 through 11. There's going to be a lot of receivers we love. So Aaron Jones just went off of the board. Kyle Pitts just went off of the board. George Kittle is also gone. Do you know, did Darren Waller go? I would definitely have Darren Waller in the queue as well if he is available. He
just
is
went.
not.
This is not a live draft, but people are still sniping us as we're talking.
That's okay. And those players should be going there. I mean, those are good picks. So DJ Moore just went. The other option I would take here, Ian, so I would definitely have James Conner at the top of the queue. I would also be in on your man, Terry McLaurin. Then you would have 4 receivers. See, I know when I say Terry McLaurin, I can get my way.
Yeah.
Even if it means
Oh my God,
he just went. I have to shut up. Like,
no, but no one can hear us. Like I do live best ball streams where
know.
people absolutely can hear us, and it doesn't matter.
So Herbert just went. That's the second quarterback off the board. This is a lot better. I can see this a lot better than last time, so I'm able to keep up. I'm marking off. I've got a sheet for folks at home. Like, always have your tiers and everything up, and so I'm basically just looking at where the gaps are in the tiers. And then Ian and I, we're pretty close on a lot of our ranks, so we may have to have a brawl here in a little bit.
Zeke went.
We'll see.
All right, James Conner, let's go.
Yes, I think you just smash it.
Go. We go James Conner. Okay, so this is where it starts to get interesting because, Dwayne, I think you've been kind of vocal about this. Is it round 5 or round 6 when you see, okay, Lamar Jackson just went, but we have a chance to be able to get Kyler Murray here in round 5? Is that where you want to
come back? If you come back and Kyler Murray's there, I love it, and then I like getting Rondell Moore later.
Okay.
So even Lamar did go and
over Mahomes. Are we doing that?
Oh no! If is Mahomes still there?
He's still there right now. Yeah, we're going Mahomes over Kyler. Sorry, Kyler.
Yeah. Just because you don't ever get Mahomes at this price, and then
bro. By the way, all of a sudden
you can get late stacks with Mahomes with MBS.
I was about to say, like, we've never had that.
Juju's going too early.
We've never really had that opportunity with him because if we didn't get Kelsey in this draft.
Hall just went.
But if you can get
Kelsey,
hard,
I'll be honest, it will be hard for me to pass Montgomery if he's there again when we come back. But you could definitely talk me out of it for Mahomes because I'm a big believer, like, in these quarterbacks. I like just getting exposure when they're way cheaper than what they should be. Otherwise, I'm usually drafting a quarterback later. Like, this year is going to be a little different because of what you mentioned around Kyler and around Lamar Jackson. Obviously, the Lamar thing's not happening.
I say we go with Montgomery if he's okay.
Well, here's why: because I think Mahomes on the board is gonna go, and I think there's still a chance we get Murray back. So
Montgomery is normally pick 42. We're getting him at pick 52.
So boom, automatic. Yep, I love it.
And the one thing about these drafts right now, this is just a $5 draft. I understand we're not playing for anything too huge here, but we don't have the ADP eligible for Tom Brady, so we might be able to get him like Gronk. It's Gronk's a little bit different. People, I think, are really buying into him potentially retiring. But for Brady, we might be able to get him after the fact. Maybe we get Kyler to still wrap around, and people are worried about that.
Yeah, I think we have a shot at that. There goes Mahomes.
In round 6, bro? Like, okay. The best quarterback season we've ever seen in fantasy points per game is 2019 Lamar Jackson. Like, as long as you use like a 10-game threshold or whatever. But Kyler Murray, for stretches before he gets hurt, and I know people always say like, yeah, he'll be great until November, December come along. But my God, man, if we ever do get 17 full legit games out of Kyler Murray, that dude could break what Lamar did in 2019.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we've mentioned this, but to me, he's the only quarterback that truly could throw for 5,000 and rush for 1,000. I don't think Josh Allen can get to the 1,000-yard rushing. We know that he can hit the 5,000 passing, right? For Lamar, I don't think he can get to the 5,000 passing. He can hit the 1,000 rushing. So I think Kyler is the one guy that could do both. So I think, you got to think of him the same way you think of those other two players. We just need Kyler to stay fully healthy for a season. He's had lower body injuries and a shoulder injury over the last 2 years that have just kind of slowed things down on him.
Pittman's starting to climb a little bit, I feel like. He went right behind Elijah Moore, one spot ahead of Amari Cooper, ahead of Devontae Smith, Mike Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Michael Thomas,
so Darnell Mooney. Michael Thomas, Burrow, Mooney. I'm just marking off. Yeah, we're pretty flexible right now. We can kind of do whatever we want. So, I mean, depending on what we like coming back around. Yeah, Kyler.
It's okay.
Kyler gone. That's okay. I think, did Burrow also go?
Yeah.
The Burrow pick, as soon as I saw Burrow go, I knew Kyler wouldn't make it back.
Yeah, I was looking at that possible.
There goes Carter, Michael stack. Carter. There goes Jerry Jeudy.
Maybe we could wait around, okay, we could wait around and then try to go with Stafford to link him up with Cooper Kupp, and then go get Higbee late.
Yeah, I like the Stafford stack.
Even Allen Robinson. I mean, he's still there, I think.
There goes Sutton and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, we got Robinson available like a couple rounds later. Let's try to do the Ram stack. Do we?
Yeah, so we can wait at quarterback. Yeah.
Okay, what are we thinking here?
Is it on us?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with it. So right now, what are the receivers that are available?
Lockett, Hollywood, Renfro, Gabe Davis, Thielen. I kind of like Thielen, bro. I know it's a little bit of a reach, but not that bad.
I have Marquise Brown above him,
Okay.
but I mean, I like him. I would be fine.
Give me
I would be
Marquise.
fine with that.
Give me Marquise.
Yeah, do
Did I
it.
get him? Come on.
Yeah.
All right, I got him. Hell yeah.
All right.
I like that call. Yeah, I have Marquise ahead of Thielen too. I'm not sure why I didn't put that together in the moment, but Dwayne, that's why we're here together.
That's why I'm looking at the tiers, Ian.
Exactly.
I'm trying. I don't know if I'm missing some of these guys. Like, this is going so fast and furious. For those at home, we tried to both log into the same account where I can more easily see all of this. It won't let us. But we'll be doing some FFPC drafts too coming up, where it'll be easy for us to be in the same room. There goes Hawkinson. That was the other potential one. You got Hawkinson, you got Schultz, but I know we're so big on Gronk right now, and we like Ertz as well. Like, so in the tight end tier right now, I've got Dalton, Schultz. I think, did Schultz go? No, he didn't. So I've got Schultz, Gronk, Ertz, and Albert O all sitting here. I think we need one of those. And right now our roster, just for folks at home.
We still got Ertz too, bro. I think throw him in that group too. If we get him, that's our.
Yeah, I had Ertz in the tier. It's
my
Schultz,
bad. Okay.
Gronk, Ertz, and Albert O. We want one of those.
Yeah.
So we need to keep an eye on tight end. There goes Thielen off the board.
Danny
Ayuk.
Blake 29.
Ayuk just went off the board. Ayuk could see some rising value here if Deebo does get traded.
Bro, I mean, year one when Deebo was out, they did start to use him a little bit more.
He
wasn't getting running back carries, but in terms of shorter stuff, remember he burst on the scene when he jumped over that Eagles dude. Like he's electric with the ball in his hands. Not Deebo, but who is?
Right. And did you say Allen Robinson is still available?
Yeah.
I would throw him in the queue for now, just so we're remembering, and I would go ahead and throw Stafford over there, just so we don't forget.
Yeah.
Throw Albert O over there too. Lockett. It's one pick to us. It's a lot of pressure when you're on the clock right in front of me and Ian.
Okay, we are up. Do we want
Gabe Davis just went.
Do we want to cash in on? Oh, crap. Schultz is gone. Do we want to go Gronk already?
What round are we in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Do we go Brady and then Gronk?
Yeah, because we need a tight end and a quarterback.
Brady or Gronk?
Yeah, go ahead and go with Brady.
Yeah. I was moving up before you said it.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. TB12.
I just,
we can stack him with Gronk.
I mean, we get a chance to have the passing leader for the entire league. We missed out on the guys that have the upside, as far as their legs, that are in the top tiers anyway. So to me, I like grabbing Brady there. It leaves the Gronk stack open.
I'll get Russell Gage in the queue.
We could still always come back to Stafford.
Russell Gage is a lovely value. And if we end up getting Gronk,
Tony and Renfro,
if we wanted some insurance for Gronk,
pick.
we get Cam Brate last round because no one's going to pick him.
I'm fine with that. There goes Allen Robinson. It's okay. I mean, when we took Brady,
that's true.
We kind of made a decision. But let's see here.
So you think we should pull the trigger on Gronk here if he's there?
Yeah. Well, here are the players I love right now where we're sitting. Kenneth Walker. I like Chase Edmonds. I like all of the first-round rookie receivers.
Hey, speaking of Chase Edmonds, would you go Rashad Penny or Chase Edmonds?
I like Chase Edmonds slightly more. I have them together. I have them right next to each other.
Okay.
I have Rashad Penny. Actually, I have Rashad Penny one tier below. But I like having Penny over in the queue. So we are going into round 8. We need a tight end. We're pretty good, at receiver, but I want to so in the next 3 rounds, I think we need a tight end, at least one more running back, maybe 2, and 1 receiver. Thoughts? There goes Garrett Wilson.
I'm in on that.
Treylon
I will say
Burks.
I tried to queue up Russell Gage since we have Tom Brady, and I accidentally got Curtis Samuel, but that's destiny. I'm accidentally putting Curtis Samuel in the queue now. Underdog Fantasy, what up? You guys know. Devin Singletary went off the board early, round 8. We'll see. But Devin Singletary in round 8, that's great value right now. He's going to go a couple rounds earlier. The second they don't draft a running back in the first couple rounds, we'll see. Like Singletary just gets written off a little bit as someone that's not all that great. And no, he's not Alvin Kamara good, but who the hell is? So he puts up fantasy points when they give him the ball a lot. That's all we care about, Dwayne.
So there goes Kenneth Walker. I was feeling that. Man, after watching Kenneth Walker, I'm just like, he can do things that none of the other backs in this class can do. As far as his rushing ability, I know we have questions with the passing game stuff, but man, like, he's a better running back than Breece Hall. Like, when you watch,
he moves a little bit different, man.
Yeah,
like even against Ohio State, like he did nothing really because the game was 49-0 at like halftime. Michigan State just they got blown the hell out, but it wasn't.
He rocked Michigan though.
He killed Michigan. No, but I'm saying even in the Ohio State game where he did nothing, I think he even got hurt early, but he had like one drive where he just made a couple runs where he cut back against the grain, like we were talking about. You know, tight end kicks out that D end, he comes back after not seeing anything front side, and it's like, God, how do you? He can do everything over a defender, man.
Real quick, Drake. I'm used to doing these with Brian Drake. Hey, shout out to Drake.
Shout out. Hey, Gronk, he's here.
Yeah, so Drake London is still sitting there. I love Drake London here. And Gronk's still sitting there too. Click on the tight ends real quick, Ian.
We could maybe...
Yeah, get Drake London in the queue.
Man,
so...
What do you think?
Ertz and Gronk are both still there, right?
Yeah. All right, too late. We're getting Gronk.
Do the receiver.
Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I wanted London there, but right. It's fine. We had to get a tight end, so.
Okay.
All right.
No worries. Gronk and Brady stack. That's
it's good to go ahead and get the stack done.
All right. Ideally, for our next pick, we got
there goes Rashad Penny.
We got the quicker turnaround. We can get one of hopefully Drake London or Rondale Moore. Also,
I think
Tyler
the other thing
Boyd,
we got to
Christian
remember
Burke.
is we need a third back. So if I think Elijah Mitchell went, but is Chase Edmonds available? Damian Harris, Kareem Hunt, Cordell Patterson.
We have Chase.
Those guys should all be in the queue.
Ooh, CPAT. Let's go. Chase or Cordero?
I like both. I've got Chase Edmonds slightly above Cordell Patterson, just because I think Chase Edmonds probably has a little more upside on the rushing opportunity plus the passing down.
Offense should probably be a little better too.
Yeah.
All right, Chase Edmonds it is. Dude. When Chase Edmonds originally went to Miami, I felt like the hoopla was going a little bit crazy, and I didn't think I was going to be high on him at all. But where he's going, he's shaping up like him, Miles Sanders, and CPAT are like the cheapest kind of starting running backs you can get.
Yeah. And look, that's our RB3. So I feel really good about our backs. We can honestly just draft one more if we want.
Despite going 0 RB, it's funny how it worked out when we were able to get Connor, Montgomery, and Edmonds.
Ooh. Yep. So I like the build. What are we looking at as far as
quarterback run?
We're looking at, all right, Wilson, Stafford, Cousins.
Rondale went. Damn. All right. Yeah, I think running back's probably going to be the play next.
So Rondale did go.
Can OBJ pick a team already? What the hell is going on? And Fuller, bro.
I'm basically just fading OBJ at this point in best ball, just not knowing what's going to happen, as far as the injury goes. It's like if I was going to take a risk on a guy with an injury, I think I'd rather take a risk on Jamison Williams than Odell.
I saw Jeff Mueller, who I think is a doctor of some sort, so he's a good Twitter presence.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
but at least physical therapist. I don't know if he's a doctor.
Okay,
but
physical therapist.
He might be.
Whatever the hell he is, I respect his opinion on player
injuries
and that type of stuff. But anyway, he was talking about the rap sheet report that this ACL surgery went great for OBJ and the last one had all these problems. And Jeff found this like old tweet where OBJ was squatting like 2 or 3 weeks after surgery, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this went fantastic! Like look how ahead of schedule he is from everything." So it seems like the type of report that, maybe a certain someone's agent wanted to have out there and say, yeah, recovery could be going better. Maybe add a 0 to that contract.
Yeah, exactly. And look at that. Somebody
goes.
Yeah, Pat in round 10. Like that's nice. We'll look at that team later. If that's like their RB3 and they got to wait that long, that's pretty nice.
What if we go like 2 more running backs and we shoot with like Madison if he's there? And then maybe loop around and get.
I don't think we have. I don't think we have to. Are you at the top of the queue? Like I like Isaiah Spiller over both of those. especially with the noise that dang, there goes Deshaun Watson. That was going to be the other one I was going to say, man.
Oh, and Russell Gage went. Good pick, Bricker 312. Isaiah Spiller, yeah, he's getting that. Who was saying he could go earlier than people were expecting?
Doug Kide.
PFF Doug, love it. Let's get some Isaiah Spiller, man. Why the hell not?
Boom.
Great last name. Shout out former Clemson Tigers CJ Spiller. He had that great year in Buffalo too. He's always when I was looking up like J.K. Dobbins, who else has averaged 6 yards per carry in the NFL over the past 10 or so years? Spiller had one of those years, man. Him and oh my God, Fred Jackson, right?
Yes.
Fred Jackson. That was a duo, baby. All right, Frymouth went.
Oh, your favorite.
Corey Davis, Kenny Golladay, OBJ, DJ Chark, Fuller. Running backs.
What do the receivers look like right now? I would like to tack on another one. So you said Corey Davis, OBJ.
Golladay just went. I don't hate Corey Davis.
I don't hate Will Fuller.
Ooh.
Once he signs, he's a name that we know can move up.
Bro, if he goes
what are the quarterbacks real quick?
Can we get some
move him to the top? Derek Carr still there?
Yeah.
I would take Derek Carr here.
All right, cool. Come on.
Yeah, and we're done. We're done at quarterback.
Sweet. Hey, Brady and Carr, it's not out of the question that they're top two in passing yards. Probably not for Carr, but you never know.
It's in the range of outcomes now with the weapons that he's dealing with for sure.
I wish
so.
We don't have great stats.
So we're done at quarterback.
But that's okay.
That was our round 11 pick. You want to give the folks? I'll recap the team while you're working the queue. So we've got at receiver. We started with receiver: Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, T. Higgins, and Marquise Brown. At running back, we've got James Conner, David Montgomery, Chase Edmonds, and Isaiah Spiller. And then at quarterback, Tom Brady, Derek Carr, and at tight end, we've got Rob Gronkowski. I feel pretty good.
A good start. We'll take that. Feel like we've had less bickering about who's available and stuff, getting the environment even better for the lovely listeners at home. And speaking of those listeners, I'll probably send this out either tonight or tomorrow, but definitely want to get some top questions from you guys. Whatever it is you want to talk about, just respond to my tweet and let us know. And, the ones that are the most liked will probably get priority. And if you guys ask some cool shit that doesn't get liked, but I like it anyway, we'll talk about it anyway. Just a great day to be great all around. Friday, mailbag episodes. Tune in. Starting, guess what, this Friday?
Yeah, I love what we just did with that pick. As soon as, what we got in Derek Carr, and then right after that, Tannehill goes, Tua goes, Matt Ryan goes. Derek Carr is way better than Matt Ryan.
I saw Tannehill, and I was like, oh, Tannehill's there. Like, he's kind of that last quarterback I want before we start getting the real perspective, guys. But I didn't even realize Carr was there. Obviously, Carr should be a few spots ahead. He's just like the cheaper version of, him and that, like, Stafford, even like Aaron Rodgers tier, I guess. Is that fair?
I think so. Yeah. We've called him like he's the arbitrage play, right, on that other passing tier. Brady, Burrow, Prescott, like Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins are the arbitrage plays on that. There goes Corey Davis, Hunter Henry, Cole Kmet. Who's available at tight end?
Jarvis Landry's getting some visits going.
Dude, this late, I like a guy like Landry on a team like this. Yeah. We need more receivers at this point.
Ooh, we can get George Pickens still.
Oh, I love Pickens, dude. He's got a really good chance of going to the Chiefs. Like, I'm just feeling better and better about that. And like, he sounds like he's slowly rising up boards. I love that idea. Jahan Dotson's another one. Yep, you just clicked him. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
I love the Khalil Herbert thing. But I think we need a receiver here personally, because I like coming back to some of the. We could come to some of the We could come back to some of those rookie running backs later. So we're one pick away. KJ Osborne just went. Noah Fant just went in front.
Let's go with George
Pickens.
Pickens.
What is the type? I like it. Just do it.
How'd KJ Osborne go? Come on. Are there any KJ Osborne stands out there?
Well, I think what people are hoping, is it will be a new offense where they could run 11 personnel like all the time.
KJ Osborne plays the slot. You want to make the KJ Osborne is this year's Cooper Kupp claim, Dwayne?
No. I'm not going that far.
Do you think?
But to your point, imagine how far George Pickens is going to move up if he's taken by the Packers or the Chiefs, which they both have 2 picks at the end of the first round.
And again, this is the time to draft rookies, so I will happily scoop that up. And then if he goes round 2, whatever. He seems to be. I would be shocked if he makes it past the first 40 picks. That seems about right.
Yeah, that seems right to me. Based on, especially on the hyped up news we've just seen over like the last week and a half with him.
Yeah. Christian Watson available.
So roster construction wise, we're sitting on 2 quarterbacks. We are sitting on 4 running backs, and we are at 5 wide receivers and 1 tight end. So we need another tight end. But right now, I'm pretty open to taking whatever we think is the best value. I wouldn't mind adding one more back, probably a rookie. I think you've got most of them in the queue.
Ooh, hold on.
I like Brian Robinson, who you've talked about. I think he has every down potential if he lands in the right spot.
Do you want a running back now? Or tight end?
Who's available at tight end?
Logan Thomas, Irv Smith, Evan Ingram.
Hit your boy Irv Smith.
Let's go. I was hoping you'd say that.
I can't.
Amazing offseason. Amazing offseason for Irv Smith so far. Like, his worst case is he's gonna be the starting tight end, man. Like, unless they Trey McBride. I don't even think Trey McBride necessarily comes in and starts over him.
So honestly, I could be done at quarterback and tight end. To me, queue up all the upside at receiver and running back, and mainly receiver. But I wouldn't mind adding one more back.
Yeah.
You could talk me into one more than that, but I kind of like, with the way we set our build up and the way things happen to land, like, I think 5 is the number I feel really good about at backs. I wouldn't mind like really coming back and pounding some of these other receivers.
Just take some high upside rookies at this point.
Like Will Fuller, I like. Jarvis Landry, I like. Marquise Valdez-Scantling, I like. Sky Moore, you've got some other rookies in there. Christian Watson, I like all the guys you have in the queue.
Fuller or MVS? I mean, MVS has the role that we're hoping Fuller gets.
I'm fine with MVS at this point. With what we've already done with our other guys.
Who would you? All right, Dwayne. Why is Juju going so far ahead of MVS? I mean,
because he's done it. Because people have seen Juju have 2 top 24 seasons. That's why.
30 million reasons why maybe MVS should be that guy. No, I heard I was talking about this on Twitter, and one of my lovely followers brought up the point that Kelsey eats, and then maybe we get like 3 or 4.
Oh, you're gonna have receivers. A fit, Ian. Kenneth Gainwell just went.
Oh my gosh. 4 rounds, 6 rounds too early. But but someone mentioned in my mentions just
Brian Robinson off the
Kelsey.
board.
Let me finish. Kelsey goes off, and then maybe we get like Mecole, Juju, MVS, and then another rookie receiver, all going for like 600 to 800 yards or something like that. Certainly a possibility. And other than Tyreek and Kelsey, man, we've seen Mahomes shy away from force feeding guys. So I think. It's kind of like the, Bill Simmons' old Ewing theory. Maybe we do see this offense not be better without Tyreek, but maybe go through less dry spells because they're not forcing the ball as much. But maybe I should save that half-baked idea elsewhere. MVS went.
Yep. So did Brian Robinson. It's on us. Yeah, I say go ahead and grab Fuller or Landry here. I'm fine with either one.
Fuller's higher ceiling.
Yeah, which one has the higher ADP? Was it Fuller?
Already picked Fuller. But, yeah, I think it was higher anyway.
Yeah, I think it was too.
That'll work. I mean, he's been linked to Green Bay and Cleveland. Bro, if he goes back to Cleveland with Watson, that's amazing. He was eating.
I saw a good tweet by somebody today. They said, hey, won't it be funny if Kyle Shanahan just owns the league, trades away Deebo Samuel, trades for Laviska Shenault, and turns him into Deebo Samuel?
Oh, my God.
Ian's like, I'm going to pick Laviska.
That would be incredible.
If coming back, Landry or Watson are there, I'm fine. We've got 6 receivers right now. Our roster construction is 2 quarterbacks.
Who's Landry visited? Saints and someone else?
Yeah, I can't even remember who all. But
Dude,
it's just,
Saints would be a great fit. He could be the legit number 2 receiver there.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I think, be him and he'd be battling Kamara.
Blake 29. My office might
There goes Keyshawn Vaughn.
Keyshawn Vaughn. Dude, I had like a stroke a month ago and thought Keyshawn Vaughn was like still the starter, just blacked out and didn't even remember the Fournette signing.
I love a back like J.D. McKissick at this spot. What are the other backs that are up there?
Laviska just went. Kieran Williams, McKinnon still a free agent. Chuba, Gaskin, Tyler Algier, Naeem Hines.
You could talk me into Algier or
James
McKissick.
Cook?
It's on us.
James Cook.
You could talk me into any one of those. Dude, James Cook's had a ton of private visits with teams. Like, teams love him. I'm convinced he's going in the second round at this point.
Let's go James Cook. I think we might be able to get McKissick even later. Like, his ADP is 213.
I think we're probably good, honestly, at running back now.
If we don't love any wide receivers, we could always add
Rashad
McKissick.
White did go, right? I'm a little.
Zamir White's still there. Damian
Yeah,
Pierce
Rashad
is still
probably
there.
went.
Ooh, Damian Pierce is still there.
You're on the Dameon Pierce train now?
Rashad White left. Yeah, I mean, the guy can do everything. If, like, the biggest issue is, like, he wasn't given enough volume, I don't know. There's a lot of these SEC schools, they have so many talent. Guys are transferring in and out now. Like, I don't think workhorse metrics are quite as important necessarily if you're doing it at the right school.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to fade Jamison Williams because he couldn't overtake Olave and Garrett at Ohio State?
Oh, there are people who do, but no, I don't. There goes Christian Watson. We need to work these receivers over, man. I feel pretty good about the backs right now, but like we got guys that can contribute, like Robbie Anderson, Julio Jones, guys that we don't necessarily love, like Van Jefferson. I like still. See, and what's funny is that like I know these aren't names we love, but keep scrolling, it gets thin. You start now you're like Byron Pringle and Nico Collins, like Sterling Shepard.
That's
dude.
Byron
like,
Pringle, Bears wide receiver 2 to you, Dwayne.
Yeah. Sterling Shepard, I like. Targets per route run have been great the last 2 seasons with Daniel Jones.
You know the Bears should sign Cole Beasley. Give him like 1 point.
Bears
give him
need
the
to
veterans
draft.
men.
The Bears need to draft a damn receiver. They have 2 picks in the second, so we could see it.
What percentage chance that Antonio Brown plays football? 1?
Yeah, probably.
Do you see?
I wish it was higher.
You see him and Floyd Mayweather? They offered to pay whatever team $20 million if he like does anything wrong this whole season.
God, Antonio,
wouldn't that be
like,
a wild? That's got to be. Is that even legal?
Why can't Antonio just like do the right thing to begin with? And we don't got to worry about all this. We get to watch him keep playing.
I know. That's the worst part of the whole thing. All right, still have probably done it. How many wide receivers do we have? We have Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, T. Higgins, Marquise Brown, George Pickens, and one William Fuller V. Will Fuller, best player in NFL history with a V designation, whatever the hell you call that.
Oh, man, these receivers flying off right in front of us. 2 picks before us, and Robbie Anderson, Van Jefferson, Nico Collins all just went.
Let's go Julio. What if he goes to Green
fine.
Bay? Then we're talking about like a probable like wide receiver 3. I bet people move him up into that range. Maybe like wide receiver 4 range.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Did Tim Patrick go?
Yeah, I had him in the queue.
I like Sterling Shepard over Julio or Byron Pringle. Just targets per route run. Like the only problem for Sterling Shepard is
Dude, he's
injury.
coming off an Achilles. I don't want to mess with that. In a wildly crowded offense that might still suck.
Yeah, we just know when he's out there, like he gets heavily.
I agree. He's
like that's all you're buying into at this point. Like you're buying into shit like that.
I think he might be there when we come back. Let's go Julio.
That's fine.
No, Sterling Shepard's a baller, man. Like last year, he was eating targets for the first couple games. And Daniel Jones got hurt. That Giants offense for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the year, man, I really wonder how things could have gone if Jones didn't get concussed, if Saquon didn't get re-hurt, and if Sterling Shepard, I think, got hurt later in the year. But, we had that Saints game, and then
it was destined to go bad just because of the coordinator and coach.
You're right, but,
on paper, it looked good, though. I mean, it looked good.
Look, the NFC, they had that crazy, oh, man. If one of the Eagles, Giants, or Washington is going to take a major leap relative to where they were last year, who do you think is most likely? I kind of think the Giants.
I mean, I don't know.
Washington's the only one with a quarterback upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, that's who I was also considering. I don't really like any of them. But yeah, I mean, it's in the range of outcomes. You get the coaching staff alone, it's got to help, be worth something.
All right, Shepard, Diami Brown.
So the other option is Tolbert. We have seen Tolbert, get mocked a little bit higher to some of these teams. Is Sky Moore gone?
I went rogue and got Dameon Pierce. Don't be mad.
Oh my God, dude. You don't need Dameon Pierce.
It's round 17. Let me have my moment, Dwayne. I'll pay for this $5 draft.
Yeah, I know.
We have freaking 7 wide receivers. It's still a great day to be great. We're
good. I mean, we've got 6 backs. We've got 7 receivers. Because of how balanced we built, I'm fine with it.
Hey, you know who goes up in the ranks if Oh wait, AJ Green's still here. I mean,
yeah, we already did the Julio thing. I'm out on AJ.
Dude, it's what happened last year though. Like AJ Green's gonna start ahead of Wesley. I'm sorry. Like, what did he finish as last year? He had some good weeks early on. Shout out Josh Norris, who was all over it throughout the offseason.
I don't know.
Dwayne just hates wide receivers that peaked 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. AJ Green, oh no. Never good when you're looking for someone. You got to ask for more rows. Just like how we're on the waiver wire, nothing good ever happens after you click next 25.
I mean, I'm fine with it at this point.
AJ Green, wide receiver 50 per game, tied with Cole Beasley, Tim Patrick.
I'm fine with it. I just don't. I mean, there's not a lot of upside in what we're going to get.
No.
I think you get more upside out of it.
Oh,
Watson.
Paris Campbell. Never mind.
You can probably take him with the last pick.
Could be. James Washington, perhaps the Cowboys wide receiver 3. That's probably about it. We're getting gross now. Dude, I was looking at. All right, this is wild. It was like the highest. Oh, we're up. Okay, fun
So
story.
did Dotson go? Jahan Dotson.
Tolbert's there. Do you want Tolbert?
Yeah, I like Tolbert too.
I would
rather take Tolbert than any of the guys we have in the queue, to be honest.
Yeah. Over the last, we got Tolbert. Over the last, since Lamar was in college, so like 2014, 2015, most yards per rush among all quarterbacks was like 100 carries. Number 1, Lamar Jackson. Number 2, Malik Willis. I know, different level of competition. He's not quite that dynamic, but damn, it's a pretty good spot to find yourself. What I was saying that for, though, was because on all these quarterback like rushing lists I was looking at, Lynn Bowden was popping on everything. Man, it sucks that he missed all of last season. He's had a cup of coffee of fun in the NFL, Dwayne. I would love to see Lynn Bowden go somewhere, recover from this injury, get back to making some open field goodness happen. Final 5 games in Miami, man. Oh, and he had like the running back designation we could use as a wide receiver. The Lynn Bowden era in fantasy football will be missed. Let me just say that. Blake 29 stole AJ. Unreal.
What is available at tight end? This is round 19 for folks listening. So far, the rosters: Tom Brady, Derek Carr at quarterback, running backs James Conner, David Montgomery, Chase Edmonds, Isaiah Spiller, James Cook, Damian Pierce. Wide receivers: Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, T. Higgins, Marquise Brown, Will Fuller, George Pickens, and Jalen Tolbert. So we're pretty balanced. I definitely don't want another quarterback, but I wouldn't mind another tight end if there's something that you like here, just because the potential of Gronk not playing.
Let's go Paris Campbell now.
Yeah, I like Paris.
And then, do you want to go Cam Brate and just, hey, we got Brady?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I'm actually fine with that on this build.
Again, the idea behind handcuffing is that you don't want to handcuff your first or second round pick or something like that, because if you're drafting Pollard and you have Zeke on your team, if Pollard balls out, that means that something horrific happened in the first round pick. But Dwayne, we're handcuffing like an 8th round pick with a last round pick. I mean, what's like if we had to look at like the value, like expected value added from the 20th round pick in these drafts, like just being able to combine like one of this or the 8th round pick is going to hit. I feel good about that.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that I like about it is like with Gronk, we know we've got an older player who battles injuries every year. So even if Gronk signs, like we probably get a week or two where Brade's potentially in play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham's still a free agent. Go get another check, Jimmy. Go get another no trade clause. I don't want to lose that bit. Oh, Ricky Seals-Jones. Holy shit. Dwayne, Ricky Seals-Jones, Giants, tight end 1.
I'm fine with that too. Yeah, that gives you more upside. That way, you get a player that could fill in for Gronk, but also like potentially give you a week or two of production anyway.
Yeah, he's fine with it. We got these guys that just don't have the ADP can get some values. That's how we got Brady and Gronk in the first place. Hacking the scene over here. Not saying many wide receiver. Goodness.
Yeah, if we didn't have Gronk, I would pass on tight end here and go a different direction. But with us having Gronk, I think it's good to go ahead and take one of the tight ends.
Dwayne, can you name the Browns starting 3 wide receivers right now?
Amari Cooper, Anthony Schwartz, and Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Is it Anthony Schwartz or is it Jakeem Grant who got low-key paid?
Yeah, it could be Jakeem Grant. I consider they probably hope Anthony Schwartz can be Jakeem Grant. Like Jakeem Grant will immediately be their returner, at least on punts.
Have you ever played in like a points per return league?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Wow, that's some DJ shit.
I have 2 home leagues that give points for return yardage and touchdowns, and we play IDP, so you can do it for back in the day. Like, you'd have these corners. I had a corner who sucked. He was terrible. So he got targeted all the time, but he also returned punts and kicks. He used to play for Buffalo. He was good when he was young, and he got older, and he wasn't as good. I can't remember his name now. This is so long ago. He was like a cheat code.
I don't hate the Boston Scott pick in the 20th round. That's the backup Eagles running back to get.
Man, dude, that's where I hope. Give me Kenneth Walker to the Eagles.
That'd be fun. All right, RSJ, final pick.
Yeah, I'm good.
Love it. I was doing the PFF like Sunday morning show, and I was always like next to Eric Eager on it, and I was, sometimes we'd slip some fantasy stuff in there. I think I brought up, I said like Ricky Seals-Jones, and then I said RSJ, and Eric's like, Ricky Seals-Jones is not good enough to earn the, acronym nickname. Like, come on, man, you can't be doing that.
Like anytime you have 3 letters in your name, like we're going there.
But there's players like
anytime you got the hyphenated name, like people are pretty much going to go there.
Some of these guys like RSJ and Mo Alley Cox and stuff, like I've just studied them so
It's got to work though. Like MOA doesn't work, or MAO, whatever, or MAC. Mac's fine. Like Mac's good. Like why don't we use MAC? I guess. Like who's the other one?
Hey, Dwayne,
we just did.
I went MVP. I know. I went MVP because before the draft ended, I got the draft board out, so we can actually review teams this time.
Holy shit! Like
our draft. Yeah, just going over our draft first, and we'll go through some other ones. Cooper Kupp to start. Was able to get Deebo Samuel at a nice discount. Round 2, got T. Higgins. We were looking between Higgins or we lost Leonard Fournette, so we were looking Higgins or James Conner. Lucky enough to get Conner on the wraparound. After that, got our second running back with David Montgomery. Marquise Brown, nice little steal in my humble opinion in the 6th round. Like, man, Marquise, he has a ceiling, and we actually saw him have a floor for once last year, too. It's not a bad thing, everyone. Tom Brady, round 7 to get our quarterback, stacked him with Rob Gronkowski. Chase Edmonds, one of fantasy's cheapest starting running backs in round 9, taking a little shot in Isaiah Spiller, round 10 for that sweet, sweet upside. Derek Carr to finalize the quarterback position, round 11. George Pickens, love where he's going right now, round 12. You can imagine on the Chiefs or Packers. Irv Smith as tight end 2, William Fuller, James Cook, Julio Jones, Damian Pierce, Jalen Torbert, Paris Campbell, Ricky Seals-Jones. Dwayne, what I love about almost all of our picks is like we have a bunch of guys that have a chance to be on a team where they are starting or like a top 2 guy. Like that's my issue with people like Kenneth Walker, even like, Dearness Johnson, Benjamin. Like you really have to jump through some hoops to see how these guys are going to have these bigger roles by us getting a couple free agent wide receivers, but that we're confident in going to a team and these rookie running backs. Got some upside here.
Yeah, and I just like the build. Scroll back up a little bit. Like first, when you have the value fall to you like we did with Deebo, you mentioned it early in the show. Like if you're going to draft all offseason, you better be using news cycles to your advantage. Meaning, when there's news that depresses the value of a player, buy the player. When the value gets pushed up because of a news cycle, you can lay off for a little bit. You can always choose to go back to the well if things don't settle down. But my first inclination when things start to move up, especially if there's a nice bump up, I'll just tap the brakes for a minute. And say, okay, a week later, do people still feel the same way? Because especially at this time of year, Ian, you know how it goes. Like we're all looking for stuff to talk about, and the echo chamber on Twitter starts going nuts, and people just overreact to that news. So getting Deebo Samuel to fall back, that's not easy to do. Cooper Kupp falling to pick 4 does not happen all the time. That took Justin Jefferson going ahead of us, as well as Christian McCaffrey. A lot of times we see Cooper Kupp go 1 or 2. Then coming back, T. Higgins, that's a player that we normally can get in this range, but look, going to be a year 3 receiver, playing in an offense that did loosen the reins down the stretch last season. Hopefully we'll see
Higgins
more
could
of that.
outproduce Chase. I mean,
He could.
their opportunity was virtually identical when they were on the
field.
field.
Deebo and T. Higgins, both elite ascending talents. We'll see. And I don't even really care. Like if Deebo ends up getting traded, I still think there's chance that, I know what you said at the beginning, like the way they scheme him up in San Francisco, and I don't disagree. But he could still land in a role where if he gets more targets, like he can actually produce just as much fantasy value, if not more. And then like a guy that we've talked about all along, and James Conner. Now they have brought in several receiving backs for visits, so there's a chance that James Conner could lose some value. But the way I look at it, Ian, is James Conner last year, before we even had Chase Edmonds gone, was still worth being an RB2. Yes, we're going to get touchdown regression, but we also still could have and even if they do draft a back, there's no guarantee that James Cook comes in. I know that's kind of the one that you mentioned yesterday on Twitter. We don't even know if James Cook can get passing downs. Like he's got to earn it, right? So with me, James Conner, even if they add a back, I like his floor, get him in round 4. If they don't add a back, or if the back can't assume more, like you just got a huge value getting James Conner in round 4. And you didn't spend, we still took elite talent in the first 3 rounds over a guy that has a role in James Conner in the 4th. So I like that. David Montgomery, also a value, dude. Where'd you say Montgomery's normally going like 10 picks ahead of here? So far we've grabbed Kupp below value. We got Deebo Samuel below value. We got James Cook, we love as a staple. T. Higgins, upside player. And David Montgomery, 10 picks after. And then wrap back around, add Marquise Brown. So it's nice. It's a nice balanced roster. I think the one spot we could have pivoted if we wanted would have been off of Brady to do the Stafford build you talked about, knowing that Derek Carr fell to us where he did, and we were able to basically start the next quarter. Basically, we cut off the next quarterback run, honestly. We kicked it off. Might have been like right there to go ahead, and we could have gone with a back like A.J. Dillon. That probably would have been like who I would have thought of. Or even a receiver like Drake London, who we had to pass in the next round for Gronkowski. But at the end, like we still got Brady plus Gronk together. Brady, I'm not going to – look, I like Brady more than I do Stafford by a decent amount. Like I think Brady could still be the QB1 overall. I know it's less likely because he doesn't run. But like if you had to pick between the two and you had to put odds on it, hey, which player, where would you place the odds on Tom Brady versus Matt Stafford to lead the league in passing and touchdowns? Like I would say it's like 75% on Tom Brady, 25% on Matt Stafford.
Maybe like 65, 70, but either way, it is a lot. But no, I mean, to your point though, if AJ Dillon or Allen Robinson was there, like there wasn't anyone that was screaming for us to take them over. I know you mentioned Drake London.
It was a big tier. That's the problem. We had a big tier of players there.
That's fair.
And honestly, that's what we'll start to work through as we do more of these. And that's why I love doing them, man, because it has. I'm already sitting here thinking about like the tiers. Where we have the breaks in them, and like just thinking through, okay, like maybe some tiers, like you don't want your tiers too big. And I try to keep them smaller, but there are a couple of spots where they're really big, and it leads to these things like this. But I agree with you overall. Like there wasn't anybody screaming that. And then coming back, dude, and getting Chase Edmonds, it worked out fine because like A.J. Dillon could easily be outscored by Chase Edmonds, who we got 3 rounds later. Like in a PPR format out of the gate, I think you have to consider Chase Edmonds and A.J. Dillon almost equal. Like I get the upside of A.J. Dillon if Aaron Jones goes down is higher than what you get with Chase Edmonds. But I think out of the gate in a half PPR setting like we're dealing with here with Underdog, I think they're going to be really close in points, Ian. And right now, like without an injury, I think Chase Edmonds is actually the back that might have a little bit more upside. Again, without an injury, so guys don't freak out. Like if Aaron Jones goes down, we know A.J. Dillon is going to be a freaking badass. There's no way around it. And then coming back with Spiller, I just like the construction. So I love the players. You kind of hit the players and what you liked about them. Mm-hmm. But this is a really balanced team. I don't feel like we're overloaded. I feel like this draft is an improvement on the one that we had last time.
Let's keep on keeping on. Get a little better every week, Dwayne. Why the hell not? Quickly go through some of your guys.
Show me the dude that got Patterson. Like, what are his other backs in front of that?
Yeah, where did Patterson?
The guy that got Cordell Patterson in the 10th. Not Jarrett Patterson. Oh, nice search.
Okay, Young Buffalo, 8-8. Goes Dalvin to Stephon. Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen.
With Josh Allen.
That's why he reached on Allen. Makes sense. Aaron Jones, good value. Michael Thomas.
Josh Allen is so good, I just call him Josh Allens. Like there's multiple.
Clyde is Singletary. Tyler Boyd is CPAT. He's got some good upside here. I like the running backs. I mean, all these guys have a pretty solid best case scenario.
I don't like those receivers though. What are all of those? So you got Diggs. I like with Allen, but coming back with Michael Thomas and Juju Smith-Schuster. Now I love the Tyler Boyd pick. Alan Lazard, not bad in the 11th. I'm fine. As long as all the young guys with all the upside are gone, I'm fine if you want to go with Lazard. So I love the Patterson pick where he got it. But what I was wondering if like Patterson was his 3 and he got him that late after stacking a bunch of receivers and like a tight end and an elite quarterback. He obviously got the elite quarterback. Who's his tight end one?
Hunter Henry.
Yeah,
he took 3: Hunter Henry, Logan Thomas, Robert Tonyan, which I know. Look, having done several summers of these best ball drafts, you see that wide receiver, you see that running back, you're like, I'll get tight end later. These guys will be fine. You end up with 3 guys like Henry, Thomas, and Tonyan. More times than not, doesn't always work out, everyone. I remember the summer when it was Chris Herndon, Jay Sternberger, and, someone else were like the guys.
Oh, man. I wanted some Sternberger, man.
I'm like, who the hell is this Tonyan? All right. The only problem, young Buffalo, he took Evan Ingram later. Maybe you could argue that Ingram is the second best tight end here. Don't draft 4 tight ends. So that's the one takeaway there. Let's see. Looking at
I think it's 3 max on tight end. Typically, I don't want more than 2. But I mean, I leave the flexibility. If the right value falls, you've got a certain construction. I get it. All right, what'd you say? You got
here's an example.
Jonathan Taylor, and then
he went 3 running backs. You're good. 3 running backs in his first 4 picks: Taylor, Etienne, and Breece Hall. Left him with wide receivers: Metcalf, Elijah Moore, Adam Thielen, Jamison Williams, Jacoby, Curtis Samuel, Jarvis Landry. Yeah,
I like. He's ballsy. Here's my challenge. Historically, for the last 3 years, we've seen that people that reach. If you consistently reach, especially at this time of year when there's so much value you can just take that is going to change in a week from now once the draft happens, it's just not a winning strategy. Typically, ADP is sharper than what we want to give it credit for, and one of the quickest ways to lose in a best ball league, honestly. And look, Blake 29 again. Like I like the fact that you're ballsy. You got a thought process. You're like, hey, this is what I'm going after, and it's clear to us, like what you did. You said you want young upside. You want Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, Breece Hall. Like, not going to argue. DK Metcalf has the talent. Elijah Moore has the talent. Adam Thielen, a little older, but an Ian personal favorite. Like it. Dalton Schultz slid to you in the 7th round. Came back with Kareem Hunt. Not terrible, but just too many reaches, I feel like, in one draft.
Especially early. Once you get the double-digit rounds, go get your guy. But first,
because ETN goes in round 4 or 5. You might have been able to nab Breece Hall and ETN back-to-back in 4 and 5.
The Hammer 04 McCaffrey Chubb Fournette start. Dallas Goedert round 4.
It's a reach.
It is 420. People tend to do some wild stuff sometimes. Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Lockett, Drake London.
I love that right there.
Well, okay, Dwayne. I don't hate it, but
no, I'm just saying I like the sequence. I like the picks. I'm with you that I probably would have laid. I would have laid off the tight end in round
Definitely.
4. But once you go with the 3 backs, dude, like he did, the pick you pass on, and I hate this because I love this player. He should have passed on Nick Chubb. In round 2, he should have passed on Nick Chubb. You come back, you get Leonard Fournette, who's actually, we both have ranked higher than Nick Chubb. You want to take the back there. To me, you take T. Higgins in round 2. Then you have McCaffrey, you got T. Higgins, you take Fournette, come back in the 5th round. The 4th round, you don't pound Goddard so early, but I think it just leaves you a little bit more flexibility to do some different stuff. Sorry, I cut you off. You're about to say something about those receivers.
I like them, but I just having Pittman as my wide receiver 1 instead of my wide receiver 3 or even 4, this is the part where I'm not signing on quite as much. I just think more and more, Dwayne, as we've gotten a couple of these under our belt, leaving these first 3 rounds, man, with 2 wide receivers, I just think it really sets you up better. Because the amount of value we have, we're not used to seeing like the guys like Edmonds, CPAT, and some of these like legit
Rashad Penny.
Penny.
Scroll down and just name those for people.
And
the backs that are going like between round 7 and 10.
In round 7, we got Damian Harris to A.J. Dillon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kareem Hunt,
Kareem Hunt at the end of round 8, dude.
Kenneth Walker, Devin Singletary. Round 9, Chase Edmonds is going. Round 10, Cordero, Ramondre, Isaiah Spiller, Miles Sanders. Like, we are getting legitimate starting running backs that we know have upside RB2 potential in the 8th round and later. That doesn't usually happen. I think maybe
people are sharper. People are pushing them down. People are playing sharper. People are thinking more macro strategy stuff and not just players. And I think, like fantasy football, like it's honestly like we're at one of the best times ever. Like as far as all the content and all the minds that are out there, everybody challenging each other, like making each other sharper, thinking in different ways. Like, those ripple effects have like been in motion for years, but like the public is grabbing onto them. And I think it's because we have a lot of younger people that are drafting. Like 2 or 3 years ago, honestly, like I could dominate drafts more easily than I can today because I could go into a draft. I pretty much knew how everybody else was going to draft. And like once I saw like the first 2 or 3 rounds, it's like boom. It's like I knew exactly what would happen. Now it's kind of like what poker went through. Like all of a sudden, like this younger generation comes in and mixes everything up. And there's all these bright minds. And I think that's what's pushing these guys down the board. To your point, but for every move like that happens, like there's also an advantage, so you can take advantage of those backs being pushed down the board now if you've thought through that ahead of time.
Couple just quick notes. Mal Wakes, who was going right before us, I like how they were able to get the Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, and Rashad Bateman stack. I'm sure they were looking for Hollywood too. But
do you like Andrews in round 2 though, in a half point?
No, I don't like. I didn't like many of their picks past round 10 either, but you know what? I'm going to focus on some positives here. Avalanche 2025 started off with Chase, Waddle, and Hopkins. Another example.
Really the same path as us.
Yeah, 3 great wide receivers. Who were they able to get after? Zeke, Dobbins, and Elijah Mitchell. Guess who's benefiting from this Deebo Samuel news? Elijah Mitchell, but he didn't receive a bump at all really in this draft. I mean, going after guys like Josh Jacobs, like J.K. Dobbins. I would have Montgomery ahead of him, but Mitchell is someone that I think is almost going a little bit undervalued. Him and also Michael Carter, who went in round 6, really have had great offseasons so far.
If Deebo's gone, and if they avoid drafting a back, which is always a possibility with Shanahan, then to me, like at that point, like I think you can make a legit argument about Elijah Mitchell over David Montgomery. I think they'll be in the same tier, right, at that point. But I could if somebody made that argument to me, I would understand it because I think that Mitchell's shown some explosive playmaking ability that we've just never really seen with Montgomery. The problem, so our 2 backs, they're volume backs. Like we are depending on when we project them, they're going to project very highly as far as touches, but they're not special. Like James Conner's a good player, probably slightly above average. Montgomery, slightly above average, but like they're not like these elite playmakers, if that makes sense.
I hate when I search for a football player and some stupid basketball player comes up instead. Justin Jackson is still a free agent, no longer part of the team right now. This one will be interesting because I was looking at the draft after us, and the guy that got Justin Jackson, I mean, it was awfully late. We all remember the overall RB1 week with Justin Jackson. Yeah, round 17, man. Like, if we knew Jackson was back with the Chargers, which I'm not saying that's, likely or going to happen, but if we knew he was back, he's someone that would legitimately be in that kind of handcuff tier going a couple rounds ahead. Let's see, savoring. Don't draft Kenyon Drake. Don't do it ever. There's no upside scenario for Kenyon Drake. I'm not blaming it on him. Kenyon Drake is fine as a football player, in person, whatever. Actually, his Twitter account has been hilarious lately. You guys should give him a follow. Just don't draft him in fantasy football. Bricker312. This is interesting. So we went Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon start. So superhero RB. Shout out 4-4 for that. Then we got Keenan Allen.
TJ Hernandez.
Yeah, TJ. There we go. Couldn't get the name out. Then Keenan, Terry McLaurin, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Allen Robinson, Trey Lance, Russ Wilson to get the stack with Sutton, Russell Gage, Rojo, Albert O. Wow. Bricker 312. Take a
Okay, so see, this is the thing. Like, this is where when I can't see the queue, like, and we're trying to keep up. That's why I like FFPC. Like, go back up. He got Albert O when? He slid to round 12. We have a round 8 grade on Alberto. Like, Alberto, like, that's a miss on our part. Letting him slide that far.
Would you have rather taken Alberto ahead of Derek Carr when we went around earlier?
Man, I still probably wouldn't have just because of where I think that would have been the pick, to be honest. Like, it would have been Carr versus Alberto. I would have been fine with either one. Man, so what's funny is he was 2 picks away from getting back, and we probably didn't even know it.
But yeah, love that Ronald Jones pick. I've talked about some of the similarities, not play style necessarily, but just in terms of situation with Rojo and James Conner and where they're being drafted this time of the year. Back-to-back quarterbacks, rounds 8, round 9. Again, very solid draft. Bricker 312. Talked about savoring a little bit. R. Foley, Javonte, Kelsey, Gibson start. All right. Well, never take Kelsey and Darren Waller in the same draft. I'm done reviewing yours. I'm sorry, but that's just, wasn't a smart move by you. Kenny, we got Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, all trade squad.
And he was just taking value. I mean, he's the one that got Mahomes to fall. Like, here, to be honest, like, look, once the pick gets to you.
It took 3 quarterbacks, too.
You go up real quick. Yeah, that's a problem.
Dumb. Come on.
So go up real quick.
I like the Romeo Dobbs pick though.
But just to kind of help people like learn from it, right? I mean, and we try to learn from our own draft. Like we definitely made mistakes. But like when you get to round 4 and Patrick Mahomes like is still on the board and you took Kelsey in the second. Now you got lucky. Mahomes landed to you in 5. Like to me, rather than forcing Darren Waller, I just go ahead and take Mahomes in round 4 and have my Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes stack. Again, it worked out this time, but typically it's not going to.
Yeah.
Oh man, where are his receivers? Does he have any?
Dude, he did not. Oh my God, he didn't draft a wide receiver until round.
You buried
11.
the lead here. Yeah.
Chark, so Kendrick Bourne, Jahan Dotson, excuse me, John Mechie, Jefferson, Pringle, Cedric, Wan'Dale Robinson, Romeo Dobbs. Woo! Hey, I appreciate you coming into the draft with us. We'll see how the squad goes. Kenny, good value.
Yeah, he'll be sending out a screenshot at the end of the year how he dominated us.
I know that's how it goes. Kenny got Kyler, the Rondale Moore stack. Shout out. Mike
it's Gesicki, so easy to do right now.
Mike Gesicki, someone we're fading. He also stacked Robert Woods and Tannehill. That's a great job there. I just wouldn't be drafting James Robinson this high, guys. Still, we don't know if he's going to play football. And you took Kenneth Walker. James Robinson and Kenneth Walker, one after another.
I mean, Kenneth Gainwell. We're fine with Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah, you're talking Kenneth Gainwell. Big correction.
After 60-minute spot, every 60 minutes when we go downhill, like we were delirious by the end of that 3-hour pod. Young Buffalo, 088. We've kind of talked about the issues with Dalvin Cook, but he went a little bit later, I guess, than normal. Okay, we already talked about him. He did the Diggs and Allen.
Yeah, you gotta talk through Team 12 though.
Finally, SV Yotto, whatever the hell your name is. AJB, round 1, Swift, Deontay Johnson. When's Deontay going to ask for a trade? That's a new thing to do. Got Kittle, round 4. Burrow. I
love the Kittle pick in round 4. I mean, that's like, I want some exposure to Kittle. So when he slides, I don't mind doing that.
He got Mooney and Fields, Olave and Garrett. We got an Ohio State fan here.
He pushed his chips in on Fields big time. He took him with the first pick of round 8.
We got Komet as well to complete the Bears stack. Khalil Herbert and J.D. McKissick late. I like those. Good job.
Yeah, I do too.
KJ Hamler, what I'm hearing, and it's not like I have inside sources, but like I saw a tweet at some point from a Broncos reporter saying that like it's questionable if Hamler is even really going to be out there for the season. Seems like a really big pup candidate, and I think there are some complications potentially with that knee injury. So at least give it a look-sees. Sammy Watkins, Dwayne, let's kind of end on this.
I'm with you on the Hamler thing. There are some really sharp people in the industry that are loving Hamler. I don't think there's any point in it right now. You got too many other weapons in front of him. Even if one of them goes down, you could still have Jerry, Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and Albert O. Okay, and then what's Hamler? I mean, like I like Hamler, but if you're gonna do it, it's like a last round pick kind of thing. Yeah, like I wouldn't spend anything earlier than that.
Any thoughts on Sammy Watkins as the Packers' potential wide receiver 1? Like, it's Sammy. We'll have him for week 1.
Yeah, look, he could prove us wrong at this point, but it's not like he's never played with a really good quarterback before. I mean, he's played with Patrick Mahomes. So at this point,
and
for
Lamar,
me, with Sammy,
yeah, I hear you.
And I hate it. I love Sammy Watkins. Like when Sammy Watkins came out, like he was my number 1 receiver in that class. I love Sammy. Look, and obviously, like the Bills traded up. They basically pulled like a Julio move to trade up and get Sammy Watkins in that draft. So the NFL felt similar to the way a lot of us felt about Sammy Watkins. But look, it's just been long enough now, and I don't know what the deal is, but like he's a 15 to 17% targets per route run guy. Like he's just not going to take over. Now the Packers offense this year, they're going to take a receiver, maybe 2 in the first 2 rounds. Like there's a version of the Packers where we don't really get anything out of anybody. Like they all end up being like kind of what you're talking about, I think, with the Chiefs. Like they're all like between 15 and 17% target share. There's no one player that really dominates things. But for me, like as soon as they sign a rookie, as soon as they draft a rookie in the first round, which they will probably do, could easily be Traylon Burks at pick 22 in the first round. All my chips are going on that player. Alan Lazard, not a big targets per route run guy. Sammy Watkins, not a big targets per route run guy. Randall Cobb's just older. He had it back in the day. Like Cobb, like was kind of, he was the mini version of Deebo, like way back in the day. Like not quite as used as much in the running game. And McCarthy back in the day actually was kind of creative. Like, hey, think about maybe doing something like that again, McCarthy. You're freaking so stale, boomer. Boomer, as Ian calls me, boomer, so I can call somebody boomer. Yeah, he talks about all these analytics he studied. He didn't study any analytics. He just visited our home office so that he could say that he studied analytics. Anyway, yeah. So for me, like I don't hate it as a late round pick. Like he could surprise us, but I think I've seen enough at this point that I'm like, look, it is what it is with Samuel Watkins.
I do wonder if we see more of like the 2018, 2019 Aaron Rodgers, which is why I wasn't, toned into the 2020 breakout season. Rodgers was still a very good real life quarterback. He threw 6 total picks in 2018, 2019. Didn't throw for more than 26 touchdowns in either year. Packers went 6-9-1 and then 13-3. Like nothing against the Packers as a team, but you do wonder how much can Aaron. Like I agree with you, Dwayne. I don't think Cobb or Lazard or Sammy Watkins are going to put up big numbers. Probably not Tunyon. Aaron Jones to an extent. If we're projecting Rodgers for like 35 touchdowns, that's a really big leap of faith. I mean, we should be trying to figure out who's going to be getting those. Answer might be maybe we're a little bit too high on Rodgers. So maybe Rodgers is the one we should slide down a little bit, like him versus Matthew Stafford and some of those guys. Maybe we do go with the better offense at this point, but we got plenty of time to discuss that.
And I mean, right now, I mean, he's not that high. Like, I mean, I've got him at the very bottom. I've got him at QB 12. Like,
okay,
so like
I think that's fine.
Normally he would be between 6 and 8. We've got him down at the very bottom of QB1 territory. Arguably, you could say, hey, he's a high-end QB2. Like, so, I mean, you could make that argument.
I have Stafford one spot ahead of him, but maybe I'll change it.
I do, too. I have Stafford at QB11.
Great day to be great. Dwayne's already made the move that I'm thinking about having the guts to do at some point. Dwayne, let the people know we have on PFF.com. We'll be back together tomorrow for a USFL preview. That's going to be fantastic. You're not writing a utilization report article per se, but you have put together some fancy dancy charts.
Yeah, man. So super excited about utilization report for 2022, and the USFL season kind of kicks that off. So whether you are a USFL fan or you're just an NFL fan, you probably want to tune in. You're going to want to look at it on YouTube because a lot of the stuff that will be in the 2022 version for the NFL is going to be the first pass of it, really. And we're going to be taking people's feedback, Ian. So people that see it and they want to give us feedback and say, hey, McFarland, you're an idiot. Here's what I really like to see changed about it. Like, we're here to listen to that kind of stuff. Now, you're going to have to back it up, though. Like, Ian and I may even have a phone call with you and say, okay, well, help us understand why you believe that we should, do that with the utilization report. But, yeah, man, super excited. I've been sharing those with you, getting your feedback, getting feedback from Yankee, Austin Gell, even George. Like, the whole team at PFF has been giving feedback on them. So I'm excited to unveil it. And, like you mentioned, with, looking at USFL, like, utilization report's like always a big advantage, but in a league that no one really knows anything about, like, dude, you're not getting anything like what you're going to get whenever you listen to this episode about what's going on with these teams. I even sent, you and a DM, Ian, saying basically like, okay, like treat me like I'm a dummy. Like I don't know as much about the USFL as you. But like these things are weird in utilization, that I'm seeing, and you back them all up, and you're like, yeah, here's what's going on. So it's a cool process for me also learning about the league. And I think there's some real edges people can gain. The other thing that will drop tomorrow is over on PFF will be the top 5 landing spots for rookie running backs. What I basically did, I looked at the teams that have a need at running back. I looked at the teams that also have the draft capital to deploy on day 2. We've got quite a few teams that have 3-4 picks on day 2. And then looked at the running backs that are basically mocking right now between rounds 2 and 3 and started to match them up and say, okay, like here are the teams that have the need. Here's the back I think that would be the fit and why. And then basically here's what we think the value would be for those players. So that will post tomorrow morning over on PFF.
Make sure you follow Dwayne on Twitter at Dwain McFarland. My man is getting in his bag of gifts and memes more than ever lately, I feel like, embracing us youngins out there in the world.
I'm trying, Ian. I'm trying. You still found the best one ever. That dude dancing. Like,
oh, my gosh. It looks just like PFF
Like
Steve.
my whole family laughed at that. My whole family laughed at that dude. It's just the confidence and the smile that he has. It just makes me like, this dude's just owning it.
Just want to have a beer with that guy for sure. 4 articles out this week on PFF.com for myself, reviewing week 1 of the USFL, previewing week 2 of the USFL. Also broke down the fantasy-friendly rushing nature of these rookie quarterbacks and looked at which rookie running backs incoming might have some receiving chops as well. So check all that out. And as always, you can use code Kickoff 30, I think. No,
50.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
50.
Yeah, it's Kickoff 50.
As I get our ad reads up real quick.
I thought it was Draft 50. Dude, you're making us look bad.
Right now, you can get a 50% off a PFF Elite annual subscription if you use code DRAFT50. That's code DRAFT50. 365 days of elite. You get all the locked article content. PFF's NFL Draft Guide, completely unlocked mock draft simulator. Data and grades in the entire 2021 season, upcoming 2022 season. All that and so much more. Again, promo code DRAFT50. Draft 50 for 50% off a PFF Elite annual subscription. So now that we got that off our chest, for Dwain, I'm Ian. Thanks so much for tuning in to PFF Fantasy Football Podcast. Until next time, take care.